We have designed a program to take the guesswork out of deworming your horses in New Zealand. This has been based on 8 years of research that's come from international work and has been tailored to the New Zealand climate. And 3 of the main aims of the program are to reduce the incidence of resistance on horse properties, to manage disease associated with worm burdens in horses, and the added benefit is it will save horse owners money on unnecessary deworming products. So it's just taking the guesswork out of your worming program.
And so what process do people go through to work this out?
To start with, they need to contact us and we work out what product their horse was last treated with, and then we can tell them when they will be able to be tested via a fecal egg count, which is a simple lab test which monitors egg burdens in the horse. So depending on what product they were last treated with, we will tell the owner when to submit a sample, which just is a small pottle of faeces. It's sent to the lab and we determine what type of horse they are, as long as they are being tested at the correct time from their last deworming product.
Are you finding there is resistance in horses?
Yes, we're seeing, basically we have about 5 or 6 active ingredients available to us in New Zealand, and we're seeing nearly 100% failure in on some properties to 2 classes of drug that we use, and in a small percentage of horses we're seeing 100% failure across all products available. So obviously this is quite alarming, and we are having to look at alternative ways of managing those properties, which we go into with our program. The main worm of concern for adult horses and young stock is the cyathostome worm, also referred to as the red worm or the bloodworm, which causes a whole raft of disease processes in the horse: weight loss, anemia, it can lead to death. So this is the one of main concern, and we're seeing a lot of resistance within that type of worm to all our products. And in foals, also especially through the Waikato, they're having issues with resistance to the ascarid worm or round worm, which has also developed its own resistance to many of the products we use.
Have you ever experienced a foal death from worms?
Yes.
Is it
yes.
more common than people think?
I believe so, yes. Yep. Currently is only one product or active ingredient called moxidectin available to us that will treat all stages of that cyathostome life cycle, and the juvenile stage can form little cysts and become develop a state of arrested development. And if there's a trigger where all those juvenile worms burst out at once from those cysts, that's what we call clinical cyathostomiasis, but it's basically red worm disease. And there's several things that will influence the juvenile to burst out en masse, and that can definitely lead to an acute death in especially a young horse.
And if you could give a piece of advice to horse owners, what would that be?
To utilise the fecal egg count, it needs to be timed properly with the last treatment. So lots of people discount the fecal egg count as a useful tool, because if you submit a sample while your horse is still under the influence of the last product, it's going to give a false negative and it won't tell you anything about the genetics of your horse. So just to consult your vet with the timing of that fecal egg count.
Great.